Everybody, welcome. Today is Wednesday. It's 1 o'clock. So it's Wednesday. Women, wisdom, women. I don't know. It's all, doesn't matter. I don't need to memorize this. This is the last one of the series where we're going to have a great meeting today with my friend Amanda Alappat, who just signed on. Oh, she's so quick. Holy moly. View request to go with Amanda. Shortly. I like to let this come on because it drags in between connecting and I don't want to like cut anybody off as it happens. Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. You look so beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
I was just introing because I was really excited that today, thank you very much, of course, first of all, for being here. But this is going to be the Wednesday Wisdom Women series. This is our last session of this whole series.
Crazy.
I know it's been amazing, and the background on this is that I always kind of kick off with this of just showing people, your audience and my audience. This started as more of like a way to either identify or reflect and connect with their sources of empowerment that they've connected with over the years. That you are a super empowered, femme, wonderful woman like that I think embodies so many of these traits that we've been talking with. I work with clients, if I ever have that question of like tapping into who were their leaders, who were their empowerment mentors or role models, I feel like something shifts in people and it just opens their mind up to so many possibilities. So with that intro being done, I would love for you to introduce yourself and just kind of tell us a little bit about what you do.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for having me. I adore you. And I'm so glad that our paths have crossed. So my name is Amanda Alappat, and I am a women's circle facilitator, a ceremonialist, a birth witness, a birth guardian, a priestess, a home birth mama, a forest school creator, a former champion boxer, 20-year personal trainer, yoga teacher, retreat leader, so many identities and many chapters.
Got time, Amanda, for all your guests. But that was, thank you so much. I mean, you and I had a very synchronistic kind of like both we followed. We were both at the same retreat, but really talked there, and then sort of came in touch to stay connected. Women's, you were definitely like bust act circle out.
Yep.
And which is amazing. You're going to be doing a human design circle this Friday, right?
Yeah. So
Yes.
your connection is quite bad right now. I don't know if, is my connection on your end okay?
No, yours is very jumpy. Mine seems like steady, but I don't know if I'm gonna.
Oh, because mine
I'll just
seems steady and yours seems choppy.
Oh no. All right. So I know because we have a little bit of a delay. You know what? Maybe we'll stop it and come back. I don't know. What do you think
Well,
is the best way to do this?
it's sort of balancing out. So maybe we're okay.
All right. We'll just go with it. We'll go with it here.
But I'll let you know. But
Okay.
yeah, now I could definitely, now you're coming in clear.
Okay, all right. I moved it out of the corner of this room, so maybe there's some magic kind of like antenna over here. You both are choppy to me. Okay, I'm sorry about that. I don't know where this is. Let me try. I'm going to hook up my Wi-Fi. I mean, I'm on Wi-Fi. I guess we'll just do our best with this now. Are you
Okay, now
seeing
it's
me?
better.
Okay.
But what about Hazy Mama? Hey, Eva. Are we still choppy?
Yeah, let us know, and we'll just experiment a little bit here.
You definitely seem better, though.
It's getting better. Okay.
Okay, awesome.
All right. I'm not going to move. I'm going to stay right here.
Don't move. Don't move. But
yeah, I know. I was like a delay.
As you were saying, we were at the same retreat. The retreat that, I don't know, did you baptize yourself as a sacred woman in the lake?
I sure
Yeah.
did. I was in there.
So that was a real pivotal moment for me. And
Mhm.
yeah, we didn't connect there, interestingly enough.
Yeah.
And I tried to come to some of your circles, but I was pregnant and it
Mhm.
just seemed too far, too much, being pregnant with two other
Yeah.
kids. And I think now you've been coming to my circles for several months
Yeah.
and sleeping over and
Yes. Oh my gosh.
having the best.
Amanda is like my little, you're like my mini retreat I get to have every once in a while.
It's so good. It's so good. I love the art studio too.
Oh, it's just it's a blessing and I do. I think it's hard. Like I think it's really hard to make space and time or find a way to watch somebody for someone to watch my kids and to organize all that. But I do feel like it has such positive impact for
Yeah.
everybody. I mean, my mothering, everything. So it's those hard little steps, those mini steps that we do to make sure that we can keep our life sacred. But anyway, let's before we kick off and we're going to go deeper into all of that conversation, let's take a breath, especially with the tech fibbles. I get like so let's do it together. Go ahead. And you're going to
Okay,
lead
so
us in something.
I would like to do just a little grounding meditation, a little bit of breath work. So, because I work in birth and because I am so pro woman and really love the Great Mother and dedicate my life to sisterhood, I thought that for those that want to, you can make a little womb mudra and
Mm.
place it on your womb. Now, if that doesn't feel good for you, you could do hand on heart, hand on belly. And then I invite you to close your eyes. And with this womb mudra, start to feel into and tap into this creative portal of your body. So take a moment to connect with your sit bones, create a solid, stable seat, lift through the crown of your head, opening up your collarbones, drop your shoulders away from your ears, relax your mouth, your throat, any tension or tightness. And then begin to deepen the breath. So I invite you, as you inhale, to bring the breath all the way down into your womb space. Feel it expand. And then with every exhale, release, let go, soften. So inhale, we expand the womb space. And then exhale, we soften and we release. So as we connect with what I believe is the sacred altars of our bodies, the creative portal, it doesn't really matter if we have children, if we'll have more children, if we won't have children or never have children, if we actually even have our uterus, because the womb exists inside each and every woman. This energetic center. I believe spirit or source resides in the womb of every woman, and to a greater extent, the earth. So feeling your energy here. This is the site of our intuition, our interconnectivity to each other, to our mothers and our grandmothers and our great grandmothers, and our matriarchal ancestral bloodline. And as we breathe here and feel into the space, start to ask yourself, what do you want to give birth to? what dream, what vision, what project, what business. What do you want to give birth to? So just take a moment here to be in this sacred space. And when you feel a sense of completion and a sense of calm, I invite you to open your eyes and welcome back.
I was I almost forgot where I was for a minute. I was like, oh wait, I have
Oh yeah,
something to do here.
we're on social media right now.
That was beautiful. Thank you so much, Amanda. That was so lovely. Um, in case it was a little blurry in the intro here, I'm just going to recap sort of the Wednesday Wisdom Women that we do. Normally, I was doing Wednesday lives and doing a bit of that mindfulness and just a midweek like check-in of like how we're doing, which you do always in your Red Rose group, which is so beautiful and perfect. Like sometimes we just need to reconnect with our sisters, with our bodies, with our
Mhm.
breath, whatever. And then I started just connecting with all of my friends that had different businesses, and we had innovators, we've had entrepreneurs on here, we've had breath work. Lydia was on here, who you might know, and was doing some breath work. And I got to, it's just the deeper knowledge of us really witnessing each other in some of our stories. And one of the stories that I think is so precious is who were the women along the way that either for good or bad, they could have been the opposite of what we ever envisioned for ourselves. And we learned from that, or the positive, affirming vision. So that is my first question to you. Who are the women role models for good or for worse in your
Okay.
life?
Well, I've had so many. And
Mm.
when I first read this question, I'm like, oh my goodness, it's like impossible to choose.
Like
Um,
your favorite movie. It's
yeah,
awful.
especially because I have gone through so many chapters and so many reiterations of
Mm,
different sides of myself. So, number one would be all the women that I've witnessed give birth.
mm,
So
mm,
I became a doula 10 years ago. And while I don't really identify with the word doula anymore, I witness and support birth. And so anytime I'm invited to be trusted to hold that container and to really witness a woman in that peak moment of vulnerability and transformation and raw primal energy, um, they're all my teachers.
yeah.
And I literally bow to their feet, right? So and I've had about 40 births that I've been to. So
Mhm.
40 women right there.
Wow.
And in particular, the ones that really stand out are the ones that I supported recently that went unassisted, which means in the absence of a medical provider, no midwife, no OB, because that's what I did for my last birth. And
Mhm.
first witnessing other women do it and being in that space really empowered me, and gave me the confidence that, like, okay, yes, I could do this. Um,
Amazing.
Second to that, I used to be a boxer
Yeah.
and I used
Yeah.
to compete. And so every woman that I have stepped in the ring with and have gone toe to toe with, and it's like so ironic because like I would never like punch a woman in the face now, but like there was a chapter of my life that that's what I was doing. And I think it takes tremendous courage to step into a ring and go toe to toe with somebody. And so I really honor all of those women, especially because it wasn't personal,
Yeah.
which is like this weird thing. And it really was the opportunity to express uh, often male qualities,
Mhm.
aggression and grit and things like that. And, I was able to move a lot of anger and rage in my body that I had accumulated from my childhood in a way that was productive and healing. And so
Mm.
all those women that I competed with, and also way back when I was 15, so we're talking, 25 years ago,
Uh-huh.
my parents bought me 10 sessions with a female personal trainer because I was getting into fitness. And at
Mhm.
that time, the fitness industry was nothing like it is today. It was very male dominated. There was very few females,
Yeah.
and she really gave me um, the the example that I could be a trainer. And I did that for 20 years. And she was a leader in the industry at that time, and she worked with me and taught me so much and was like really such an incredible role model for me. Um, and then on the bigger macro level, I really love Sarah Jenks,
Yeah.
um, Yolanda Norris Clark for her work in the birth world. I'm currently
Mm.
studying with Nisha Moodley. And so these women that live with integrity, that are doing their sacred work, that
Mm.
share their teachings. Um, and then my own mother who has taken full ownership for the role she's played in my life, for better or worse. And that you recently experienced has come to circle, that has anointed me,
Oh,
that allowed me to do,
that was so beautiful.
yeah, womb rights on her. And, we've done so much healing in our own relationship that I feel like now it's transcending us and bleeding into, my ancestral line and the future
Hmm.
generations.
Hmm. Wow. I mean, that is the gamut. And actually, when you were speaking about all of these role models, and it was like, that's one of the keys, I'm hearing like the balance of the masculine and feminine qualities. And the mother line is key. Like, I feel like every single guest I've had, which has been about 8 now, the first one is somewhere, or not, maybe not the first one, but it's in there, the
Yeah,
mother.
of course.
The mother energy, the masculine, the feminine, these are the things that show us what's possible
Definitely. Definitely. And it was so hard
in
to
our
pick,
life.
right? Like man, I could write multiple books.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's why I really love that I'm just like, just be intuitive. What comes up
Hmm.
first? Of course, we're gonna leave something
Yeah.
out but it's like you'll feel intuitively, I think, which are the living ones in your heart right at this moment
Yes.
that are probably influencing all this work you're
Yes,
doing right now.
definitely.
Wow. So I was pulling out some of the words. So the other question I asked, like, what are the traits and qualities that you feel in that the woman that came in the boxing ring, or these women giving birth? What is it that you're like, holy shit, like
Courage.
that? I want that.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think number one is courage. Courage,
courage.
courage
Yeah.
to do the thing, whatever the thing is.
Mm,
Um, I don't think these women are fearless,
right.
but not allowing fear to own them and working
Yeah.
with the fear, being in dialogue with the fear. Because every single time I stepped into the ring, no matter if it was for a fight or a sparring match or practice, I was fucking scared.
Hmm.
I had the
Yeah,
fear.
I would be too.
Um, every time I gave birth, there was that feeling, right? But
Hmm.
not allowing it to inhibit or prevent, but rather empower and use it as fuel. Um, so I think that's really key. And for these other women that I named, I think integrity is really important, right? Walking the walk, talking the talk,
Hmm.
right? Having your
Hmm.
life reflect your values, having your life reflect um, what you believe in
Hmm.
is really key. Um, and thinking about like my mother, um, the ability to always repair, to take ownership, to take
Hmm.
responsibility, um, to know what's yours, um, and and to apologize, right? The ability to apologize, to be wrong, and to continue to try again.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, I feel like even my own mother relationship, it's complicated. There's always just so many like we're growing with a woman who is also growing as a mother, and then we are mothers now, and it's like then it
Oh
kicks
yeah.
things up,
Yes.
and I find that as oh, I don't know,
Yeah.
that's never
Yeah.
ending.
Yeah.
That's
For
always
sure.
going.
And that's life, right? The spiral. It kind of just keeps going around and around.
Yeah. Yeah. I would love to hear from you kind of how you shifted into what you do now. Like coming from boxing, like where was there a moment? Like
Oh, there's always a
what's that?
moment. There's always a moment. So I started working out when I was 14. I became a trainer by the time I was 17, and I really dedicated my life to fitness. And when I was in college, I had a breakup with who I thought I would end up with. And
Mhm.
my roommate said, "Why don't you try a boxing gym?" Because she was going, she's like, "I think you would really like it." And I had never played sports as a kid. I'd never trained for anything. And being in the fitness, I was just like working out for the sake of working out. I punched a
Mhm.
bag one time. I was like, "Oh my God, this is it." I had never experienced the release.
Mm.
And I, in true fashion, just like poured myself into it. I was terrible. I had no skill whatsoever. Decided that I was going to go for it. Found an amazing coach that developed a
Mhm.
really close relationship with. He trained me for over a year before he let me compete. And I had 12 fights in my boxing career, an 8-4 record. I fought in Madison Square Garden. I won the gloves.
Damn.
Yep, the New York Golden Gloves. And that's all I really ever wanted. I just had my heart set on fighting in Madison Square Garden, winning the Golden Gloves, and kind of seeing what else was out there. And once I achieved that, I was ready to move on. I had met my now husband,
Mhm.
Sebastian, and he's from India. And this was in 2008. He lost his job in the financial crisis. And we
Mhm.
were newly dating, and he said, "Hey, I'm going to go to India for a month. Do you want to come?" And I was like, "Hell yeah, I want to come." And I gave up boxing and I got really drawn to yoga. And so, true
Yes.
fashion, poured myself in. I was practicing 6, 7 days a week because I was training with boxing 6, 7 days a week, 3 to 4 hours a day. So I literally traded the gloves for the mat, studied with a teacher for a very long time, was like very much an apprentice, an assistant, did that for years. But woven through all of that, I was really interested in birth. I became a pre and postnatal um, trainer. I became a pre and postnatal yoga instructor. And then on a retreat with my yoga teacher at the time, my friend said, "Hey, I want you to be at my birth." She was 5 months pregnant. And I'm like, "Well, I'm not a doula or anything." And she's like, "No, you are." And I was like, "But I'm not trained." And she's like, "It doesn't matter to us." Of course, it mattered to me.
Mhm.
I found a training. Um, on the day that I completed the training, another friend went into labor that I went to her birth. It was just like so synchronistic. And then really devoted myself to the birth world and did that with training, with yoga. Um, but way back in 2015, I just like thought of this the other day. I started holding women's events, women's circles in my backyard in New York City.
Oh,
And
okay.
it wasn't as like ceremonial as I do now, but it was, they would come over, I would teach yoga, I hired a chef, we would have a meal, then we would sit in circle and like talk about a topic. And I was like,
Mhm.
wow, I've been doing that for 10 years. Um, and then what really shifted was having my own kids, having 3 home births, um, being in Sacred Circle more. I went on a retreat right before the pandemic that
Mm.
shifted everything, and just realized for me, circle is the heart of it, really.
Mhm.
I've done the deepest healing. I feel the most alive. I it's just like my truest joy. And I think you've been to like enough of my circles to know that it's just my life work. And I'm so clear about that. And I still get to do the birth work and I teach yoga. But really, I feel like for the foreseeable future, I'm going to now pour into the ceremonies. And interwoven that, I did a priestess training and a temple guide training,
Mhm.
and going to circles, going on retreats where I'm not holding or facilitating, um, continuing my own practice and my own work around it.
Mhm. Yeah, I always I laugh sometimes because I'll say yoga is like the gateway drug into this
A hundred
world of
percent.
like, and then I love hearing like then you were called towards births and you were called towards, it starts to really connect something for each of us because we're actually sitting still, getting in our bodies and hearing
So
what
I've just
we need to
always like followed the pull. Wherever I was pulled
yeah.
to, I just went with it. So
Oh my gosh. Yeah, and you are naturally just so gifted with it. So I love seeing women really embodied and like that's what they're supposed to be
yeah,
doing. That's
yeah.
amazing. Like that's you for sure. Every time I see
Well,
you
and the
doing a
last
circle,
one,
like
the
she's
Great Mother Circle, really felt like
yeah,
just the essence of really my calling. Like that
yeah,
particular topic, that theme, that style was just like I felt so fired up. And just like I can't believe I get to do this in little white rural Pennsylvania. It's not lost on
amazing.
me.
That That is, I mean, I think in so many ways, the more how on trend everything is, and it's very popular, like, and women's circles are growing and people are really opening their minds to just different ways of connecting to community. And then you're like, I could do this anywhere. Like there is a need, I think, for I don't have to be in maybe these hubs of activity
Mhm.
that are always happening, because that's exactly where it needs to be, and you're there in Pennsylvania,
Yeah.
like this is,
And we've only
yes,
moved
of
here,
course,
a little under 2 years ago.
right,
And I definitely was like, I don't know about this, like, are people going to get it? And I kind of started with yoga first because I thought that was a little safer.
yeah,
I said, no, I really want to do the circles. And I just went for it.
yeah,
And you've experienced like there's just like a core solid group of women.
mhm,
And I just love being in the sacred space with them. And my first circle, I said, I am looking for women that want to do this for life, that are
yeah,
committed to showing up and like being with me, for years and years to come. And they're like, cool, we're down.
yeah.
And it's been growing ever since.
Yes, you have, it's a huge group there. Like it's not just like here and there dabblers coming in. They're like, see you then, I'm signed
Yep.
up, I'm coming. Like
Yep.
that's really beautiful, and I love that so
And if
much.
I'm anything, I'm
um
I'm consistent and I just stay the
yeah,
course. And
we talk about that being
yeah,
generators. We're like,
yep.
I can make this work.
Yeah. So it's like, and what a blessing. I have my own space down the road and
Yeah.
on this beautiful piece of property and just so blessed.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So as we start wrapping up, I know I'm always mindful of everybody's time on here. So we will pull a card, and
Oh,
I always love pulling a card at the
okay.
end because it's almost like we just get all the energies and the universal stuff is going. But I found this deck because I forgot I got this. And I know that you mentioned this book the other night. It was the Mary Magdalene Oracle.
Well, I have her book. I don't have her
Yeah,
oracle deck.
I have the book, and after I read it, she released this, I think, Megan Watterson, and they're very deep. I don't know if everyone's gonna like know the whole story of the Mary
Well, it's so
Magdalene.
funny. Those cards have been sitting in my Amazon cart. I have so many decks. I'm like, okay, let me chill on the decks. But I'm like, the next one is gonna be that one.
Oh my gosh, you're just like me. I had to stop after a
Yeah,
while. It was just
I know.
they're
There's so
sitting, but this one I was just like,
yeah.
yeah, I'm getting that. I'm doing that 100%. So I'm just gonna pull
Okay.
one. I'm gonna cut the deck because we're here to go. Okay,
Oh,
what is
I
it?
wore my womb shirt today.
Oh my
That's
gosh, that's the fallopians and all of it.
yeah.
Like that's
Oh,
the
yeah. I can point that
beautiful.
out because you can't really see it, but I tried to show up
I love
brand.
it. Oh my god, that's so great. Well, this is the card that just came out, which I think is kind of perfect, and it's the legacy.
Ooh.
And this is love is always legendary.
I feel that.
And they're not that long. Let me see if I can do a little summary for us here. It says, I dreamt once that I was at the bottom of the ocean. I felt this impossible weight on me as if I was holding up the entire ocean with my tiny little back. Then this unexpected ripple of light made me lift my head. I glanced up to see a huge mirror right in front of me. At first, all I could see was the suffering on my face from the weight, But then I saw my grandfather standing beside me, and he had that glowing look of love that he often used when he was
Mm,
alive.
mm,
Whenever I feel this sense of having to do something on my own, or of being alone with my sadness or with a choice about my life that is creating stress, I remember that I am part of a great, unending chain of the love that has come before me. I am just one tiny link. My life is not linear. It does not just begin and then end. My life is a continuation of all the love that has been passed on to me. Love is always legendary.
mm,
This is a form of vision Mary Magdalene practiced. This is how she was able to see Christ within her heart. And maybe this is what Mary shared with Sarah and all those around her. This is the form of vision that lifts the weight of what we thought we had to do alone. This is the form of vision that connects us to the legacy of love we each come from. And this is why Mary responds to Peter in her gospel, I will teach you about what is hidden from you.
mm.
Oh my God. And the question we can ask for anybody watching, this is sort of like the inner prompt. Whose love lives on through me? That's great.
Wow.
So what are you feeling with this card? How is this resonating for you, if at
Well,
all?
something that my husband and I often talk about is what is the legacy we want to leave? What is the legacy we
Mm,
want for our children? And living a life with intention to create it in the now,
mm,
and not something that we'll think about when we're about to pass. Um, Also, I think for many years I did things alone, and
mm,
I thought that I had to like shoulder it all. And now the more that I lean into receiving and the more that I lean into allowing, the better my life gets.
mm.
And I think this is a good segue too, because the more that I co-create with other women and collaborate with other women and share, the better my circles are, the better my ceremonies are. Um, and for me, the question is, my ancestors' love lives on through
Mm,
me.
mm,
Um,
mhm.
really tapping into that bloodline. The Great Mother's love lives through me, and how I
Mhm.
show up for my
Yes.
children.
That's so beautiful. I do. I ditto to all that. That's really cool. Thank you. And yes, that's the thing we are going to share today is that I am going to help co-create with you with our energy. Amanda has so generously offered to let me bring some of my magic to
Mhm.
her circles, which is a lot of body
Yeah.
work. We're going to be doing fear to
Yep.
freedom, where we're going to really tap into the inner body, the body energy, the movement of the
Hmm.
body. I talk a lot, of course, yoga and all of this is such a big part of my practice, but dance and booty yoga has been really something that I think has just like, oh my gosh, opened up something that I didn't
Yeah.
realize it. So that is going to be on
Fifth.
July 5th,
Yep.
right? That's
Yep. July
okay there.
5th. And I'm so excited. It's going to be primal. And,
Yes.
I know many of us are a little bit restricted in our body. We hold back.
Mhm.
And I think this will just unlock any tension or any tightness so we could feel a sense of freedom in our movements and in our self-expression through the body.
Oh,
I'm
100%.
so
I think it's so funny. I was thinking in the car today about it and I was like, I remember before I would kind of do body work and you would be at the rave or the party and you'd see the woman like losing it and you're just like, what the hell is that? And inside of me, I was
yeah, of
jealous.
course.
Like she
So
was
free.
free.
So free.
She was free and she was healing herself. She was tapping into like her core of like not giving a shit and
And
just saying, I need to
permission
just
for
shake.
everyone else,
Yeah.
you know. But I think, our unresolved sister wounds would be like, oh my God, look at her. Meanwhile, we're all
Uh-huh.
jealous,
Yep.
that we don't have that uninhibited ability to move. So I'm ready. I've done a lot of
Yes.
work to take the shackles off. And
Yeah.
that's really what I
It
want to
is a
bring.
process.
Yeah, I want to bring that to the community of like, here is
Mm,
your permission slip to like let it all go and
mm,
move for joy.
yeah.
So I'm so, so excited. And
Yes.
I'll post the little blurb. It's in the
Yes.
Poconos and it's
Yes.
going to be the best ever.
Yes. I can't Wait, well, actually, on that note, tell us everything about like how to find you and what services you offer, because I know this is like something that, people really resonate with the support that you give.
Definitely. So I hold circles at my sacred space. It's called the Red Rose Temple. It is in the Poconos, and they happen twice a month, usually on a Thursday, but as we move to summer, it might be on Friday or Saturday, usually around 7 or 8 p.m. And again, that's really the heart of my work at this moment in this phase of my life. I also teach yoga on our outdoor yoga deck Tuesday nights at 6, which is really amazing and very special. And then while I'm not currently attending births because I have a small baby, I offer guidance, support, and coaching from preconception all the way through postpartum. I especially love working with women who really see birth as an incredible portal of transformation and really want to claim it and own it and just need a little bit of guidance and support around what are the choices, what are the options, how do you move through the fear, and how do you get the birth of your dreams?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's beautiful. I think I watched your recent birth journey that you had shared some of the images on, and it's like I was like, I had never even thought of that as a possibility, even though that would have been an amazing
Mm-hmm.
thing. Because it's just this is the culture we live in.
Yes.
That's like this is the way.
Yep.
Strap you
Yep.
up and just do this, and it's like
So I'm really
crazy.
committed
So I
to
do.
changing culture on many levels, and I've spoken
Yes.
about that, and I say that instead of just being like, oh, we're victims to culture, no, we get to shape it, and I feel
Yeah.
very, very strongly about changing the landscape of birth, and yes, showing women like there's so many ways, and you get to choose, and you don't have to just follow the status quo because there's an epidemic of birth trauma, there's an epidemic of
Yeah.
unnecessary interventions, women and babies. I mean, this is a whole other life, but
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
yes, I really believe that the world could change if we change birth, and it's another
Yeah.
thing we need to reclaim and shift.
It's wonderful. Okay. Well, that is so much you got going on. I think that you're at obviously Amanda will be tagged in the captions of this, so feel free to follow her, connect, see what she's doing. You'll probably see me in the photos, in the backgrounds, in the circles, and doing stuff.
Yes.
Um, but yeah, this was just like so beautiful. I'm thanking everybody so much for checking in and witnessing this beautiful series of all of our these women with these stories of empowerment that like I don't even know where this is going, but I'm like combining all these insights into something beautiful
Awesome.
that'll
And
serve the
thank you for
world.
choosing me, and thank you for inviting me on.
Absolutely. Oh, no, that was a no-brainer. So I thank you again, my friend. Yeah, I will
Awesome.
see you
Thank you. Have a
soon.
beautiful day.
You too.
Bye.
Bye-bye.